Hey guys, and welcome to episode 17 of the Stars Gaming Show. I am your host, as always, your friendly neighbourhood Stars. Stars Gaming. It's a new intro I'm going with. We'll see how it goes. Join with me are two regulars, and we might end up getting another person later on. We'll just need to wait and see. But we do have Footloose 20005.
Hey folks, how's it going?
And we also have the Game Busters J.
Hello.
Josh, as always, is watching F1. It finished about 10 minutes ago or something. He's not turned up yet, so we're just going to wait for him because I want to go to bed and I'm not waiting for Josh. I'm sorry, man, but I can't. Anyway, we do have the usual lineup for the show. We do kick off with What You Playing, where we just talk about what we've been playing. We've got Game of the Week and Bag of Shit of the Week. And we also have Foot Reads Rap, of course. That will be closing the show. And whatever Josh has come up with for this week. Jay, your show about 5 interesting things. Can I come into a close?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so in the meantime, we're just let Jay use his creative cogs in his head to come up with something that he wants to bring on a weekly basis. So I'll give you all the time you need. We're in no rush. The shows are pretty packed as they are anyway. So as always, we do have our kind of headline show of the show, and that is going to be what is the best video game genre. This is completely our own opinion. And if anyone else watches the Skype show other than us, you can let us know what your favourite genre is or what you consider to be the best, like definitively best genre. But we're going to start off with what you're playing, as always. And I'm going to start with Jay. What have you been playing in the past week?
In between, like I guess my recording and renderings, because it's like the only real time I'm not when I'm playing a game, it's when I'm recording or streaming. I don't really play games anymore just to play games, to be honest. I'd rather focus on trying to do something with my channel or with Twitch. So if I am playing the game, I make sure to record it. But when I'm waiting around, I'm not doing much because I'm like rendering a video that takes, I don't know, fucking forever to do. Okay, is there something I want to play maybe? I decided to replay through Prince of Persia: Forgotten Sands. I don't know, I just kind of felt like it, so I did. It's like the fourth game of the Sands of Time trilogy. And it's actually better than I remember it being. I mean, I didn't think it was bad. I don't know. I just don't really remember it much, I suppose. I played Sands of Time to death. It's arguably my favorite, at least story-wise. Story-wise is probably my favorite. Combat could be better, which they did improve in later games. And Forgotten Sands takes place between Sands of Time and Two Thrones, which is the second. It's kind of like, because the second, not Two Thrones, sorry, War Within. The second game was made by a different team to Sands of Time, and Two Thrones. Yeah, Two Thrones. And a lot of people didn't really like War Within for different reasons, but I guess you can consider Forgotten Sands like the Sands of Time team's attempt of, hey, what if we did create our own sequel? And here you go, they started to shove it. And you can tell because the design of the prince basically looks like the War Within design. So that's how you kind of like know it's kind of like a hybrid between the two. But no, it's really fun. It's like everything you expect from like the Sands of Time games. You know, he runs on walls, he jumps. But this time he gets these new abilities where he can do things like freeze water. Make it solid so he can swing on solid water, or he can climb on solid streams of water, things like that. It's kind of cool. He also gets things like making platforms appear that weren't there. Like he's in the present and he goes into like this ancient temple, and a lot of things that weren't there he can just bring back. So if there's a platform that used to be there back when obviously it wasn't an ancient civilization, he can do that, which kind of throws some interesting platforming gimmicks to the fray. You got to like time yourself correctly because you can only make like one platform appear at one time and things like that. So they do a lot of interesting things with like these different elemental stuff. You can also use like different elemental powers to like attack your enemies and stuff. Again, it's more like sand zombie creatures and stuff. It's like the thing with the trilogy. You get like various different abilities and stuff. My favorite's probably the cyclone, the tornado, because it just basically sucks up all the enemies and kind of kills them all. But you can only use it limitedly. But it's really cool. It's really cool. You get like earth powers, so you can like protect yourself. You got fire and you've got ice and a bunch of different stuff. So it's really cool. Story's all right. Again, it's not my favorite, and it's not a super like hard game. But if you like any of the Prince of Persia, at least the 3D ones, I'd say Forgotten Sand is honestly a pretty good pick. But yeah, other than that, I haven't really been playing too much else. I played a little bit of Arkham City like yesterday, and that's about it. But yeah.
Is Forgotten Sands the one that's on PS3 and 360?
Yes.
Yeah. Like, the game overall for me was pretty unmemorable, but I do remember when I was playing it, I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. Like, there's nothing that stood out for me as something that I could take away and say, oh, that was a great experience, that bit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it was about it. Maybe it was just because I've not played it in about 5-6 years, give or take. But I don't know, pretty unmemorable experience, but I don't remember it being bad. I remember enjoying it when I did play it. What about yourself, Foot? Did you play it?
Yeah, I've played through it maybe 2 years ago, maybe, or something. Yeah, again, same thing as you. I wouldn't say it's memorable, but again, I do remember like really enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I say, the story was decent, combat was quite fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, the elemental powers and that was a cool addition to it. And I like how you can like freeze like the water and stuff, and then you can like obviously swing on the ice and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was really cool. I don't know. It's probably my favorite one. I wouldn't say I'm a massive like Prince of Persia fan. I like Sands and I like Sands of Time, but I didn't like Warrior of N or the cel shaded graphics one. So
see, that one stands out to me as being the most memorable, and I don't know why. Maybe because it was just very average, but I enjoy that art style.
Yeah.
Regardless how good the game is, so
yeah.
I don't know. Like, I always felt you couldn't really die in that game. Like that girl kept bringing you back.
Yeah.
It takes away a lot of challenge. It's like Prey. I don't know if either of you guys have ever played Prey.
No, I've heard of it.
Yeah, I think it's a 360 exclusive. When you die, you kind of just go into this you go into an astral form and you fight these weird blobs. And once you like kill enough of them, you go right back to where you died. And it's like Prey is a great game, but the idea that you just can't really die is, I don't know, it takes away a bit of the tension and nervousness when trying to fight a lot of enemies. It's like, well, it doesn't really matter if I die here. If I can take a couple down, that's a good little run.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know, like that Prince of Persia, that cel-shaded graphics one.
Mm-hmm. I just thought it got like, really like repetitive for me. Bored.
I've not really played the PS2 one since I was a kid, even though I've got the HD trilogy on the PS3, which I've kind of neglected, sadly. But I always remember them being pretty difficult. I don't know if that was because I was a kid and I was relatively new to a hack and slash genre, or because they were difficult games. I don't know. Like, Jay, you'll probably be able to answer that.
I don't know, but then again, I play hard games anyway, and don't have a hard time. So I don't know, mate. I wouldn't say I was skillful, but like, I never felt like I had too much difficulty, in my personal opinion. You do get swarmed with a lot of enemies throughout the game, especially Sands of Time. Sands of Time can get pretty crazy, and that's like the big problem I have with that is that I don't think you're quite. I don't think the Prince is combat efficient enough to deal with hordes of enemies. Like you get some interesting powers, like you get this Mega Freeze thing where you can just kind of like supersonic speed slash all the enemies really fast, but that doesn't last very long. And then when you think it's over, you've got more hordes, and you're like, well, fuck, I'm out of sand power now. And when you lose that sand power, you can't even rewind time.
Mhm.
And I'm on an echo, apparently.
Well, it's definitely something I've got to give more attention to in the following years, I should say, as the PS2 Prince of Persia games. Did I just play the... It must have been the original or something else that came out, the 2D one?
Nah.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, I remember that
It's
appearing.
hard.
Yeah, I remember that appearing on the Xbox Live Arcade, and my friend Andy bought it once. Yeah, I know a lot of Andrews, by the way. Just this is why I've got.
I think you can just play it on the like. You can just search it up and play like a web browser version of it. I'm pretty certain.
Yeah, I know a lot of Andrews. Like there's Foot, there's Mr. Plum, who's now House of Heron or whatever his YouTube name is these days. I can't really remember. Then I've got Big Andy, which isn't you, Foot, because this Andy's even taller than you. So
Oh God. Jesus.
too many Andrews, too common a name.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, that was a weird game. Like, I remember going round to his and playing it for like 10 minutes. I'm like, oh, is this rubbish? So this isn't the Prince of Persia I remember. Yeah, so we'll quickly move on to Foot. What have you been playing this week?
A game that I started and played through on the PS3 this week was Cabela Survival Shadow of Katmai.
Oh my god.
What?
Play hunting games?
Aye, but this one kind of interests me because it's a little bit different. It's not like a first-person shooter like the other Cabela games.
Okay.
Other Cabela games like first-person like shooters where you like hunt deer and like elks and that kind of thing. Like
Yep, and gets
pheasants
boring
and
very
stuff.
quickly.
Yeah. This one kind of like drew my interest because it's kind of more like a survival kind of game.
Alright.
Like your plane like crashes and you end up in like I think it's like Alaska or something. Obviously loads of like snow and stuff, ice, and you're going through these levels getting hunted by like wolves and things, and like bears.
Sounds like Tomb Raider.
A little bit. And like the shooting's alright. I mean, like the frame rate and that's really bad at times, but the shooting's not bad. It's quite satisfying, like shooting wolves when you like slow down time. And then you can like aim at like the heart and things, like their vital organs, to do more damage.
Okay.
That's kind of a cool thing. But this game like adds like platforming. And, oh my god!
Platforming a Cabela game.
Yeah. I think you can tell this is like their first time doing that because it's so stiff. Trying to do like the most like simple of jumps, he just won't do it. It's like staggering around in the cliff trying to jump. It's oh no. And like you're getting like pecked by crows and things. I don't know how you avoid that.
Not the bloody crows again.
Pecking away, yeah.
What, can you actually like die like death by crow?
I don't think so. They don't really do much damage. It's just as well because I couldn't really find a way to like avoid that. Maybe you can like shoot your pistol or something, but I don't know. I couldn't do it for some reason. Just kept getting bloody pecked and feathers not going everywhere. But yeah, it's an alright game for us. Like I said, the shooting's alright. Platforming not so much. It's like a 4 hour long game.
Wow.
It's like really short. I mean, like I didn't know how long the game was, and there's like fought this like bear at the end. I was like, all right, next level, but no, that was the end of the game apparently. It's like one of the least satisfying like game endings of all time.
See, I've never experienced that too much where the game ends and you're like, oh, is that it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, usually it builds up. Like, games usually do build up quite well, so you know it's the end. It's like, you know this is the final boss.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's it. It's like I'm waiting for level 5. Credits.
Very much.
Oh,
Yeah, it
mental.
was really unsatisfying. Just like another bear. Maybe it was slightly bigger than the other bears, but it was still just didn't feel like a final boss or anything. So
Was
yeah,
it was it like Mordu from Brave?
I've not played Brave.
Oh no, you've not even seen the film, have you? All right. So I thought you'd seen it for some reason because it was all Scottish in that.
I want to watch the movie at some point. And you said the game's like pretty decent, so I might buy
Yeah, I
it at
was
some point.
pleasantly surprised by the game.
Yeah, I'll put that on my to buy list.
Shouldn't cost
Neat.
too much these days.
Yeah, I think what £3 or something maybe. But yeah, it's it's a Cavella Survival Shadows of Katmai. Katmai.
I've never even heard of this game.
Have you not?
No, like I own about 3 Cabela games.
Ah.
And I have this other hunting game that it was like a Xbox Live Arcade one, and it's awful. Like, the aiming on your gun is really poor. It's like this guy's
Okay.
a hunter.
Yep.
Just can't even shoot with his crosshair is, and like there's a lot of these Cabela games. Like, just even in the last generation, there's about 10 of them.
Yep. Way too many.
Yeah, there's even this weird party one for Kinect, and I'm like, I'm not touching that.
Jesus. Right. Is there someone like the PS4 and like Xbox One as well?
There's probably at least one. For some reason, they keep on getting money to make more.
Yeah.
So
It sell very well.
there must be a market for it. It's like the fishing games. I never thought there would be a big enough market for them to keep on making these like Rapala or like bass fishing or whatever. They keep on but they keep making fish games somehow.
Aye. Crazy.
So I'm
There's a
sure they're
market
decent
for
games
someone,
for
I
what
guess.
they are, but I just didn't
Yeah.
think there'd be a big enough market for them to sell.
Aye. Very much. Strange.
So was there anything else you played this week?
I started Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag.
That's a great game.
Yesterday. I've only played like an hour and a half, so I can't really like give a good description on it yet. But it seems pretty fun. Obviously the water effects and that are really cool. Good looking world. Obviously being an assassin is always it's fun, you know. I'm just hoping it's gonna have like a good story. I mean, I like the character of is it Edward? I think it is.
Mhm.
He seems like a pretty good character. It's not gonna probably not be as good as Ezio, but he's got to be better than Connor though.
I think it was quite near the beginning of the game, and I actually had to like get my phone out and take a picture of it when you're going up this elevator, and the view.
All right, yeah.
It's incredible.
Ah, yeah. It's a beautiful game.
Yeah, I've actually got quite a funny story about Black Flag that happened just on Friday there.
Oh, okay.
Sadly, my grandpa got taken into hospital again. Like, he seems absolutely fine now, but it's all the way in Greenock, which is quite a bit away from where I live. So
Yeah.
we traipsed up to Greenock, and I went just after work, so I hadn't had my dinner yet. So I went into the little gift shop and paid about £7 for a meal deal.
Okay.
And guy working behind the counter. Oh, Josh is here.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
Just in time. I'll quickly finish my story, but the guy behind the counter looked over and noticed I had a Black Flag tattoo,
Ah.
and he's like, "Oh, is that Assassin's Creed?" And I was like, "Yeah." And we had a little chat about it for about 5 minutes. And I'm like, "Oh, I better go. I'm supposed to be visiting my grandpa here." I'm like, so not really a funny story or anything. It was just
That's pretty interesting, though.
that you brought Black Flag up.
Yep.
So,
That's pretty cool.
Josh, how
Yep.
was the F1?
Yeah. Very good. Lewis Hamilton won the race, so I was very happy about that.
Yeah, we were talking about it before because I got a notification on my phone saying so, and I was like, "Oh, big surprise!"
Yeah.
But yeah, like while you're here, we'll just jump straight to you. What have you been playing this week?
I've been playing F1 in 2018 on the PlayStation 4. Now, I've been doing a career mode, and basically I'm racing a teammate, and I'm trying to get the better of my teammate and have car upgrades for him. You know, you need to develop a good car. Obviously, I'm number 2 driver at the moment, so he'll get all the upgrades for me. But out on track, you know, I got the setting where I do the energy recovery system myself and the fuel, what fuel mix and use myself. So it's a bit of a challenge, but I'm enjoying it. You know, unlike other F1 games where you're on easy difficulty and the car changes gear for you and it does the ERS for you. I'm enjoying the challenge, so we'll wait and see how it goes.
Oh, awesome. I mean, my experience from F1 games, I think I played 2010 and I ended up like finishing third in the race, but I actually finished in last because of all the penalties for skipping corners and hitting other cars. And then I realised, you know what, I don't think an F1 racing game's really for me. Like, I like to be quite aggressive on a track, so... Phil, I know you've played a little bit of F1 games.
Same thing. I keep getting like penalties, like left, right, and centre. I think the last one I played was 2012. I think. Yeah, it was alright. Nice enough looking game, but again, I just find them quite challenging because of how aggressive a driver I am.
See, the penalties were really harsh. I thought it was like a 10-second deduction for like just tapping another car. It's like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like you finish the race and like nobody else has any penalties at all. It's like, oh, that's just bollocks.
I made slight contact with a car on F1 2018 and they gave me a 5 grid place penalty. I was like, for what?
Oh god. Well, it seems that well, in this podcast, all we used to ever talk about seemed to be Crash Bandicoot for some reason. Like every episode, we would mention Crash in some way or form. Now it seems to be the Spider-Man show. We talked a lot about Spider-Man in the last episode. Well, for my game of what I've been playing, I've actually been playing 2, but one's for later on. So we'll talk about PS4's Marvel's Spider-Man, which I got, which is an incredible game.
Oh, cool.
Not jealous at all.
Is that the latest Spider-Man game, you know, on PS4?
Yeah, it's the one that's been out for like just over a week, I think.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, like, as an early birthday present, I was meant to be getting Spyro. I mentioned this last time, but since it got delayed, it's now delayed past my birthday. And it's like, oh, well... and I was just like, right, let's just go with Spider-Man because this game looks awesome. I never saw any gameplay, I just saw the cinematic trailer things. Oh, this just looks incredible. I think I've put about, like, in 2 sittings, which I got the game about 5 days ago, it's just I've not really had time to play it. But I've played about 4 hours in 2 sittings, and I've not really touched the story. I'm just having too much fun, like, slinging about in the city, which is brilliant. Everything looks great. A lot of stuff is interactable. Like you can drop onto the ground and bump into pedestrians, and like, there's an acknowledgement there. Like it's like, oh sorry, and like oh look where you're going, all this kind of stuff. I'm having a lot of fun. Like when there's like an objective marker, and it's like right, I'm gonna swing really fast, and then I'm just gonna drop out the sky, and I want to land right on the marker. And it's really satisfying when you get the landing perfect, and it's like, as far as being Spider-Man, this game is the closest you could ever get. It's so good. It's what I've hardly even touched the story. I've been a lot of stupid random crimes, try to sort them out. Combat is very reminiscent of Arkham games. In the way that it's a lot of hitting square. You get your little spidey sense tingling, and you've got to hit circle to counter. There's tons of different upgrades for your web shooters, which I've not even got anywhere close to unlocking most of them. Tons of different costumes as well. Like, if you're really big into Spider-Man, you'll recognize a lot of these costumes from like the TV show, movies, or the comics. So a lot of this is really, really cool that you can wear like the really ghetto outfit where it's just kind of like a hoodie and a blue jumper. Really, really cool. The game looks amazing. Like, that shouldn't be understated. It is beautiful at all times of the day. Like, I prefer nighttime because I just think the whole city just comes alive more. But overall, from what I've played, it's probably the best game I've played that's come out in 2018, which there's not really many.
Yeah.
So it's not really a fair comparison, but I'm putting it up there. It's probably going to be one of the best games of the year overall anyway. I really, really think that. And I'm sure all three of you guys are probably going to pick this up at some point.
Oh, yeah, too, right.
100%.
So, yeah, I don't need to say you need to go get this game because I know you guys will. It is one of those games. Someone from my work, actually, is considering buying a PS4 just for this game.
Yeah. That's yeah.
And just goes to show you, even though I'm an Xbox guy and I'm fully committed to Xbox, I'm not one of those kind of people that's just going to sit and defend Xbox all the time. PlayStation 4 has better exclusives, and PlayStation will probably have the best exclusives for the foreseeable future because they've got the best franchises tied down. And the best developers, because Insomniac, can they do any wrong? Just, can they? Like, I can't think of a single game Insomniac have done that's bad.
Nah, don't think so.
Really, no.
Maybe Resistance 3 is the worst I've played. I liked it, but I'd say it's probably about the worst.
I mean, I haven't played loads of Insomniac games, so, you know.
Did they make Ratchet and Clank All for One?
Probably.
I'm not sure.
I don't know. I thought Ratchet and Clank is owned by Insomniac.
But maybe someone else made this game.
It didn't feel like an Insomniac game.
It does. It's the furthest thing away from a Ratchet and Clank game.
Yeah, didn't like it much.
I cannot see Insomniac putting their name to that.
That it.
So, not a terrible game, but not a memorable experience whatsoever.
Nah.
Oh, no.
I didn't even finish it. I was really bored of it.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what you playing for me? Spider-Man, even though I've not really played too much of it, I'll try and talk about it a bit more next week because I think that's all I'm really going to be playing over this next week. You can't have a game that's just come out and just say, you know what, I think I'll go play, God, what else have I got? Embers of Mirim for like 10 hours. Like, ain't gonna happen, I'm afraid.
And even Sony brought out a limited edition Spider-Man console, like what they usually do in most games.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, I'm really, really hoping that we can get more of this from different superhero franchises. We've got the Arkham games, which is the pinnacle of Batman games. Hopefully this Spider-Man can develop into a series, but if not, and if it's just going to be a standalone, that's fine. Because it'll be a great one. Let's try and continue this and have more superhero-based games that are proper blockbuster games that everyone can't wait to play.
Yeah.
Because, as I've always mentioned, superheroes are massive right now. With the movies, you've got to try and make games not based on the movies. They have a bad stigma attached, but
yeah.
I don't know whether you've been into HMV recently, the music store, and they sell loads of t-shirts now, like superhero t-shirts.
Yeah, I was in there about 2-3 weeks ago when I bought Infinity War. So,
yeah.
Because I had to buy it on day one because I'm such a mark like that. And yeah, it's fantastic. So if you guys are keeping up with the MCU, go watch Infinity War. It's great.
Nope.
No spoilers. There's 18 movies worth to watch before that one, so
Oh god.
I think the memes have spoiled me enough.
well. I mean, I suppose if you've not seen it in the first 6 months, well, I don't know how long it's been out. It's probably been out about 4 months. When are you gonna see it? Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're that bothered about it, you'll have seen it in that time frame.
Oh yeah.
That's why I would say, like, spoilers shouldn't be like such a massive thing if it's for something like that. That if you're gonna see it, you're gonna see it quite soon after it comes out.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's fair.
So, but I wouldn't say like give away major spoilers just for the fun of it. Like, if you're reviewing it tastefully,
Yeah.
don't just come out and say like, "Oh, so and so died. What a shock!" Like, no. Back up. Anyway, I had scribbled in this was the time for the J show, but we're gonna have to swiftly move on. We have a game of the week, which falls on me. I kind of wish I didn't be last doing what you're playing, but that's just how I script these things. I don't really change it. I'll ignore that. So for game of the week, this time I've gone for an Xbox 360 exclusive because we need to give some love to the Xbox, of course. I've gone for the first ever Dead Rising game, which have you ended up getting yet?
No, but definitely want to get it at some point because I enjoyed the second game.
So, what the second game's a lot more elaborate than the first one. The first one is basically you're trapped in a mall, you've got to survive for a set amount of hours. There's loads of zombies. Have fun just killing them with any sorts of weapons you can find. It's obviously I think it's paying tribute to, is it Dawn of the Dead, the one where they're in the shopping mall?
I'm not sure.
Either way, it was a great film. So Dead Rising, it takes a lot from that. You play as Frank something. I'm sleep deprived. I can't remember names.
Frank West.
Frank West, thank you. And you photographer. You end up getting trapped in this mall. The idea is you've got to go through it, and the core gameplay is find random weapons in shops, have fun killing zombies. But you can also, there's like a big story that's in it that you can kind of just skip over. It's actually probably harder to complete the story than it is to skip it all. Because you have to go out and do specific things at specific times, and unless you know what you're doing, you're probably not going to be able to do it. There's survivors all over the place that you've got to kind of save, gather up, and take them to a safe point. And I think that kind of increases your score by the end of the game. I've never completed the game because I just have too much fun mowing down zombies. Like that's what the game. That is what the game is to me. It's kind of like an escapism thing where it's like, you know what? I don't want a serious game. I just want to kill a load of zombies. I want to throw bowling balls at them. I want to hit them with empty juice cartons, smack them with wiffle bats while wearing a stupid Lego head. Like it's just stupid fun, and sometimes you just need games like that. There's other kind of like subplots to it where you get these random psychopaths, and to be quite honest, I was never too taken with the whole psychopath thing, which is just humans that have gone a bit mental and are trying to kill you. I was never too bothered with this, especially this annoying cult that appear at night. They just chase you about, and it's just not fun. I don't like those guys. But if anyone has an Xbox 360 and you don't already own Dead Rising, I mean, what are you doing? It's like one of the must-have games for the 360. It just is. Weird with Dead Rising is Dead Rising 1 exclusive to 360, Dead Rising 2 multi-platform, Dead Rising 3 exclusive to the Xbox One, and Dead Rising 4, is that on the PlayStation 4?
I don't think so. I've never seen it anyway.
I just find it very strange that you can get an exclusive series, but for some reason, one of the main canon games is multi-platform.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
So I don't understand what happens with the exclusive rights. Maybe Xbox weren't willing to pay Capcom what they wanted to have exclusive on that console, and they're like, no, we're gonna open up to PlayStation as well. Let's get all the cash in. I don't really know what happened with that, so I don't know. But Dead Rising 1, it's the only one that I've played a lot of. I've played quite a bit of Dead Rising 3. I got it with my Xbox One on launch. It was fun, but it ain't Dead Rising 1. That's that should be the new slogan for Dead Rising 3.
Yep.
So yeah, Dead Rising, pick it up if you've got a 360. Definitely worth your time. We are going to move on to the Josh Show. So Josh, do you have anything special lined up for us this week?
Yes. Talk about how my Streetlight collection is going. Right, so obviously, as you know, I'm a massive Streetlight enthusiast. I was looking through one of my old YouTube channels, and I had a channel what I didn't use for years, so I changed the name to Mr. Joshy J Streetlighting channel, and now I upload videos on that channel. You know,
is that the Joshy J Bus Fan channel?
No, this was like a spare channel. Like, you know, in the past when I was having issues on YouTube, I basically wanted a backup account, so I wasn't really using it. So I thought I'll turn that into a Streetlight channel. So that's what I've done, and I upload Streetlight videos on there, warming up the streetlights. And recently I got a main road streetlights, like what's been on main roads / motorway.
I thought you were talking about the Old Man City Stadium.
A Philips MA50 streetlight, and it's 135 watts one. So the tube I got for that is bloody massive, and the streetlight is like, I got in the bedroom at the moment. It's just amazing the size of it. I know. I just feel it's a shame, like they're getting replaced with the white LEDs. So, you know, for me to be saving them and that is just amazing. You know, because I can do something with them instead of them just going over to the scrapyard. And so it's going well, my Streetlight collection. And it's a bit of a weird one, I know, but I think collecting is fun because you can reuse it, and it's good.
See, you say it's a bit of a weird thing to collect. Like, collect what you're passionate about. I've went through a lot of phases of collecting games, even though I never really got round to them, which was bad. So I'm trying to rectify that by not buying as many games, which I haven't, but it seems like my backlog that I've not played is just ever growing for some reason. But I'm more collecting now, which is a very unhealthy collection because it's stupid, but I love these things, the Funko Pop vinyls.
Those figures, I see those in HMV.
Yeah, I've got about 20 of them now. When you consider they're about, you're probably looking at least 10 quid each.
Oh my god.
It is a horrible collecting thing to get into, but I can't help myself. Luckily, when I was in Amsterdam at the beginning of the year, I got a couple that were a lot cheaper, a couple of Star Wars ones. I think they were about €8 each or something like that. Probably about 6-7 quid, not too bad. But then you look at stuff like, I got Kratos, that cost me $12.99, so it kind of balances out in the end. Then one of my Harley Quinns that came from New Jersey, took about 3 weeks to get here. Fantastic.
I love the actress who plays Harley Quinn, Margot Robbie.
Yeah, Margot Robbie.
In Suicide Squad.
I've got 2 Harley Quinns, one normal Harley Quinn get up and one in her cocktail dress thing when they're in the club. One of the very few Joker scenes in the film, so take all that as you want. But it's a very unhealthy thing to get into collecting as they pop vinyls, because they just kind of sit there and look at you with their black soulless eyes.
The Streetlight videos I was doing on my main channel, but I don't think anybody be interested in that on my main channel, so I'll do it on the separate channel, because my main channel's mostly about football and that.
So, do you still upload on your Bus Fan channel?
I'm not for. I can't recall the last time I uploaded on it, but yeah, I mean, I still got the old videos up on it, so,
yeah.
But...
Oh, well. Well, we should probably move on. All this talking about collecting's making me want to go on Amazon and buy more pop vinyls. We'll move on to Bag of Shit of the Week, which is Jay this week. So, what is the shitty game for the week?
Right. This is hard normally because I don't really play bad games. So it's like, well, I have like my quirks with games where like there'll be something I don't particularly like. It'll have some bad things here and there, but it doesn't like hurt my overall experience of the game. It doesn't like deplete it or make me feel like, oh, this game is really bad now, so I'm not going to pick it up again. It's more just like, well, it's an okay game, but it's not bad enough. Like, I can't call it a bad game. So this is kind of difficult, but I basically just looked at the list of games and then looked at the list of games that I probably don't have, I guess, and was like, okay, well, what's the worst game that I've got or don't have? Now, I apologize if I've said this before. I'm not sure if I have. I might have mentioned it maybe in something else. I'm not really sure, but I'll try and be brief with this. So it's funny you mentioned Crash, because I'm about to mention it right now. So my bag of shit has to go to Crash of the Titans. I'm going to be brief about this, but if you think of Crash Bandicoot, what do you think of? You think of, running around, jumping on crates, boxes, spinning around enemies, collecting Wumpa fruit. It's a platformer, it's a hallway platformer type thing. You're always looking from Crash's backside. You always walk, always run forward. You jump forward. You still move around on a 3D plane, going in various different levels. Normally collecting crystals and gems and whatnot. Crash of the Titans, it's more like it starts off a little bit of platforming, and then so you see these weird Titan monster things. You're like, yeah, and they're like, well, you can get on their back and just control them and start fighting other Titans. And then I'm just scratching my head thinking, but why though? I want to get back to my platforming because that's what Crash is. No, fight some Titans. You're like, okay, and you fight some Titans, and then you fight some Titans, and then you fight some Titans, and then you start to think, wait, is this a Crash Bandicoot game I'm playing here, or am I playing fucking God of War or some shit? Like, it just became a beat 'em up / hack and slash type things, and it's not even fun in my opinion. Like you're controlling these Titans, and you're trying to attack, and then you get swarmed. And then you're trying to hit the Titan, but the Titan just has plot armor. Well, not even plot armor, just like super armor or something. So you hit them, but they don't get stunned, and they just hit through you, and they clearly do more damage to you than you do to them. And good luck even trying to fight a Titan with Crash. They pretty much one-hit Crash. So you have to fight Titans with Titans. It gets ridiculous. It get actually ridiculous in my opinion. And it's like, then you're in an arena styled thing where you're literally fighting hordes of Titans, and then you fight other big bosses with Titans, and it's just like, yeah, I've one, I've already lost interest. Two, if I want to play a beat 'em up game, I'll go play a beat 'em up game. I did not expect that to be in Crash, and that's kind of where I stand with the Spyro, the new Spyro games, the new beginning games, the Legend of Spyro, as I say. I'm never really a big fan of the beat 'em up. I don't think they're as bad in that game, but they're still not I don't think of that when I think of Spyro. I just no. If you're gonna do some fighting in a platformer, make it fun, make it an extension of the platforming gameplay. Don't just basically go from platform and then okay, we're just gonna have a beat 'em up for the rest of the game. It's no. That game is so frustrating. and I want to give it a chance. I really did. It's a hard game, and I found out that apparently you can glitch the game and get a double game over type of thing. Yeah. Well, I'll say, okay, so Furlies might remember this. So what happened is I did this on a live stream. I was fighting this stupid ass Uka Uka boss fight. It took forever to beat. It was bullshit. And it basically said, like, you know, I did it. And it played the cutscene. And it's like, yeah, you did it. But then after the cutscene, the game over screen popped up, even though I won. And I was like, oh no, it's fine. Like, I'll like, maybe it's a glitch. I'll just go to the next level. And I loaded up what I thought was the next chapter, right? I was like, oh, okay, maybe it's just a glitch. I only realized it was a game over. It just reloaded the level again. So I had to fight the boss fight again. Yeah. I don't know if that's a PS2 problem, because I think Crash of the Titans is like on everything. I think it's on Xbox 360 maybe.
Yeah,
I think it's on
I've got it on the 360.
As well. But yeah, I was just like, okay, I'm fucking done. I did eventually beat it, but I was so mad. I was so mad with that game. Like, people say that what was it, Mind of a Mutant is better, but honestly, Titans put me off so hard. I don't even want to give Mind of a Mutant a chance. That's how shit that game is. Like, it is not a Crash Bandicoot game. You know what it's like? It's like Rayman fucking Raven Rabbits. It's not a Rayman game. It's not a fucking Rayman game, right? It's a party game. Get your rabbits out of my Rayman. Like, get lost. Give me a new bloody Rayman game already, Ubisoft. You want me to actually care for your shit any of these days, but I'm going off topic. But yeah, that's my bag of shit. Crash of Titans. It's not a Crash Bandicoot game. I'm sorry. I don't care. You try to justify that game. It's not a Crash Bandicoot game. You don't think of punching things with other punchy things when you think of Crash Bandicoot. I'm sorry.
See, I'm beginning to wonder, like, this is just a thought that popped into my head when you were talking there, like, do you think that whatever companies own, like, say, like, Spyro and Crash, do you think that... Oh, I'm hearing myself.
Echo.
Yeah. I was like, do you think that they realise that if they keep on trying to make new games, they're not going to sell because the reputation is kind of plundered? And this is why they've decided to do the remakes, because it's like, well, the new stuff isn't working, why don't we give them the old stuff?
Well, I think that's why they did it, because the originals is what sold the most, and I think they're finally listening to fans. That's what I think. I think they're finally like, okay, fans want the old stuff back, and you know, it's a good way of introducing new fans by revitalizing the old. What made these games good, like Crash and Spyro, and it's like, if this does well, then it just kind of shows that they know where to go from here on out. I guess if they do like a new Crash game or a new Spyro game, they'll be like, okay, people like this sold well, people want more of this, so we'll just do this. And they should have done that from the first place. But I get it, developers like to try different things, they like to experiment. I understand. You know, the reason why Insomniac stopped making Spyro games was because they ran out of ideas. Like, this is fact. They stated that they actually ran out of ideas because they thought, well, what can you do with a dragon that just breathes fires and charges? Like, they wanted a character that can really use everything, and so they created Ratchet and Clank, because Ratchet and Clank can use their hands and legs, whereas Spyro can't. So it's things like that. I mean, if they've got to change something or move on, then, you know, so be it, you know.
I think this might need to be a topic for like a future show. We can just kind of discuss franchises that we want to see get an HD remastering that haven't happened yet or haven't been done to a sufficient level. So
Yeah.
stuff like they released, oh yeah, we've HD remastered this one game and it's available only digitally. I can't think of anything at the top of my head, but yeah, maybe we'll do that in 2 shows time. That just sounds like a fun idea.
Yeah.
But we will move on. The bag of shit of this week is Crash of the Titans, something I never actually played because it looks bollocks. But I picked it up when I was going for my full 360 collection, which thank God I stopped doing that. See, after buying about 12 sport games in a row for a total of like £4, it's like, oh, this is not worth doing anymore. We will move on to Indie Game Insanity, where I talk about a random indie game that I have at some point played, which you guys probably have never heard of and will never ever want to play. But well, I'm actually going to talk about a game that I started just yesterday, and it was kind of like while the football was on. I didn't want to play Spider-Man because I'm like, right, I can't really concentrate on football and Spider-Man because Spider-Man deserves my full attention. I'm sure you've all heard of the infamous game Shaq Fu.
Yep.
Yeah. Very well known for being dreadful. Well, someone had a great idea and decided to kind of remake that game, but do it well. And I think it came out just a few months ago, and it's called Shaq Fu: A Legend Reborn. Now, the story, I'm not even going to go into the story. It's ridiculous, and I don't really know what's going on. It's kind of funny, but, you know, whatever. It's the game that they should have made back then. It is actually a lot of fun. It's a side-scrolling beat-em-up, like what you'd kind of expect. There's not a great deal of enemy variety. There's probably about 5 different enemies, and then they kind of get like a new skin because you're in a new area. You get your standard guys that take just about 2 hits to kill. You get your fat guys that take a bit of a beating. You get your stupid long range guys that are really, really annoying. But Shaq does have quite a variety of different moves. You've got like your normal punches. Once you get a decent combo, you can fly out a massive size 22 kick or whatever it is, which looks pretty cool. You can jump and do like a kind of dash in the air. You can do that dash on the ground as well if you so want. You can get like different like fighting suits. So you've got like this big mech armor which fires out like lots of... Well, it doesn't actually fire. It's like really fast action punching, which is a lot of fun. There's also a cactus suit which is just fire out like spikes of cactus at enemies. It just mows down people. It's a lot of fun. And then you get like environmental weapons, so you can pick up street signs and clobber someone with it. It's usually a one-hit kill. And barrels that you can roll at people like a bowling ball. A lot of fun as well. Then you just get your stupid obligatory boss battles that are just kind of like normal enemies, but they've got a bigger health bar. That's kind of them. I've gotten about 2/3 of the way through it in about 2 hours, so obviously not a very long game. But you know what? It's actually a lot of fun, and if you're into beat-em-up games, I think this would be right up your street. Like, it's... For a beat-em-up, I'd probably say it's on the lines of about a 7 out of 10. So a really good game. Foot, I know you're quite into your beat-em-ups. Jay, you're quite into your beat-em-ups as well, aren't you?
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah. So if you guys ever see this game on sale, I do recommend you pick it up. It is a lot of fun. It's not very long. So I wouldn't pay the £8 or £12 or whatever it is that they're charging. I got it for, I think it was £4.50 or something like that on sale. You know what? I think it's been worth it so far. It's quite a fun little experience. Maybe if I wasn't watching football at the same time, I'd probably be able to take in more of the story and not just kind of like glance over and see like this really fat hairy biker guy like giving the love eyes to Shaq. It's like, what's going on here? Have I missed a major plot point or something? But no, a really fun game. I do recommend that one.
Streets of Rage 4 hype.
It's weird. There's not very many games that I do on Indie Game Insanity that I do recommend. It's usually a heap of rubbish. So that's 2 weeks in a row we've had a decent game. Candleman and Shaq Fu. So we will move on to the headline event of the show, which is what is the best video game genre? Very subjective, of course. Depends on your own personal preferences, but that's what we will divulge into. I think we'll start with Foot because we've not heard very much from you today, Foot. So what would you say is the best video game genre?
Well, it was only going to be between two genres, 'cause I love both these genres, but I've got to go with horror games.
Yes, that was what I predicted you'd go
I'm
with.
sure you'd predicted that.
Yeah. Before I don't know, I try to predict what everyone would go for.
Yep.
Try not, try not to have the same thing. But if it so happened to be, it so happened to be. So I
Yep.
predicted that one. I'm quite happy with myself.
Yep. Very good. Yeah, something about horror games for me just really like gripped me. I mean, ever since I was young, I enjoyed Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3 on the PS1. I grew up with those games, played through them so many times, scared me quite a few times as well. I'd say probably the scariest one for me is probably the original game, probably because it was kind of new to me, like horror games. Like dogs like bursting through windows and that.
Oh God, don't even start.
It scared the living daylights out of me. And then when you go into like an attic, there's like this massive snake that just comes out, and oh my God, so bloody scary. So yeah, ever since then, I always had an appreciation for horror games. I just really love how like usually like really isolated, like an abandoned mansion or like a haunted house or something scary. Like you're lacking like supplies, you've got like limited health, limited ammo, and I just love that feeling. You have to like strategize. Should you shoot this zombie or should you save your ammo? You always got to consider that. And I love like horror games where you get like save points. You can't like save like all the time. That's what I love about like classic Resident Evil. You get like ink ribbons to save your game. So if you don't save your game like on a regular basis and you die, well, you've got to go back quite a long way. So I love that. I think like it adds to like the tenseness of the situation. That's just Resident Evil, which I'm a big fan of. Echo.
Oh, you get the echo now.
Yep. I was trying to combat it, but it was just random.
I think we really need to start thinking about moving over to Discord at some point.
You think?
Probably. Just
You think Skype's the problem, do you?
Maybe. I would have thought it was probably my fault with this new mic, and I don't really know a lot about it. But because I was getting it as well, it's like maybe.
Aye. God knows.
I could trial it one day, I suppose. Excuse me.
Maybe. Another one I'm a big fan of is Alone in the Dark: The New Nightmare on PS1. That's kind of similar to Resident Evil. You're getting like chased around by like shadow monsters and that. Another really scary game. A game I did definitely struggle to play when I was younger because it was so bloody scary. Like it's like the atmosphere and stuff. The characters are really mysterious. The music's like so tense. And then of course you got more modern games. Like obviously you got the Dead Space games, which I absolutely love. Well, Dead Space 1 and 2. 3 kind of went for a more just like a shooter. Way too much action for me, but 1 and 2 really good, isolated up in space. You got like these creatures just jumping out of nowhere, so tense. Another game that really has you on on the edge of your seat. And then there's games that like you don't really have like much to defend yourself. Games like Haunting Ground and Alien Isolation. Alien Isolation it's more like a survival horror like aspect to it, where you're getting like stalked by the alien, which again is really scary stuff. Again, you don't have much to defend yourself. You have a flamethrower, and even that doesn't kill it. It just like sets it back a little bit. It runs off and then it comes back after you again. So yeah, I love that. I really love stuff like that. It's awesome. And then Haunting Ground, where you're getting stalked by a woman, a monster or just a demented, psychopath. And the only way you can like defend yourself is using your dog, Huey.
Huey!
Huey! Help!
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, shout at Huey to basically help you. And depends on how you treat the dog, it'll be more like, it'll listen to you more. Like if you don't like feed it like often, or you let it get like hurt quite a lot, it'll start to trust you a little bit. You have to look after the dog, and say you don't have a weapon, so you have to like hide under beds or like closets and things, and it's really scary. Like I say, I love like horror games like that where you can't defend yourself. you're like desperately looking for like a bed or something to crawl under and like hide. And even that's not like guaranteed safety. Sometimes they can find you and stuff. And yeah, really scary games. That's why I love horror games so much. And yeah, why I would say it's my favourite genre of game.
Shit. I've probably mentioned this before, but horror games is always something I've wanted to get into, but I just can't. Yep. I'm too much of a coward. I can't.
Yeah.
You know, it's not really monsters or the jump scares. It's the whole atmosphere, and you don't know what's around the corner. That's what draws people to horror games, but that's what keeps me away.
Yeah, I love that stuff.
I don't like with horror movies. I've got absolutely zero problem. I've built up such a desensitization to horror films that they just don't really affect me anymore.
Yeah.
But with games, I can't do it. I can't do it. I think there's only 3 horror games. Well, let's say 2, because I was going to mention Resident Evil 5, but let's probably not.
Yeah, it's probably more action, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, so I've beaten Dead Space 1, which was pretty creepy.
Yep.
What was that other one? Alan Wake.
Yep.
Really enjoyed that game though. And I didn't really find it too scary, but Until Dawn. But I know you found it quite creepy.
The Wendigos are really creepy. Just the fact that like every character in that game can die, and I really like the characters so much, and like I felt really guilty if something bad happened to them. So yeah, definitely had me on my edge of my seat.
Yeah, horror games and me, it doesn't really work. I've tried a lot. I'm gonna continue to try, but I don't think it's gonna be anything that I'll ever get really into, sadly.
Aw.
But Jay, what about you? Horror games?
No, I'm the same with you, to be honest. I'm just the chicken shit. So I don't really, I look at a game and I'm just like, yeah, no, I don't see myself getting into this. I want to try because I could I might like it if I can push past being a wuss, really. But like, I don't know. I prefer to be in my happy go life of platformers, I guess, where there's no horror for me.
Josh, what about you? Horror games? Do they tickle you?
Nope, because I hate horror films.
Well, Phil, it looks like you're on your own in that one, sadly.
I knew I would be.
Gonna move over to Josh. What is your favourite video game genre?
My favourite video game had to be action. Yeah. Because I like playing action games like basically just using boss fights, searching for things, and action games like Medieval and that and Spider-Man, I just think they're a lot of fun, they're quite chilled out games where I feel nice and relaxed, and I don't have to rage away at all, and get rage quit because, I like to be a happy gamer, I'm not one of these gamers who likes to just throw the towel in and just think, oh, fuck this, I'm done with it. But, yeah, action games has to be my favourite sort of game subjects, and because I'm not really into horror. Obviously, I like a few sports games like FIFA and racing, but action, definitely fun for me.
Yeah, see, like when I was trying to predict everyone's, like Jay, I'll come up with my prediction of what yours is after you've come out with yours. I predicted Foot with Horror. Josh, I thought you were end up going to go with sports, which came close, but that's what I thought you were going to end up going with.
Yeah, well, it was between action and sports, really, but I had to go for action.
So it's probably like an action adventure for you, Josh, or just...
Yeah, action and adventure does it for me, yeah.
Oh, yeah, awesome. I think we're all pretty much agreed that action adventure games pretty awesome, like
yeah,
as a general concept. Oh god, we've been recording for ages now. Jay, what have you gone for? Best video game genre?
Well, I think most people who know me could probably tell what I'm gonna shoot. What I'm gonna shoot. It was honestly between two genres. It's between RPGs and platformers, and of course I went with platformers mainly because that's what I grew up with. You know, like the thing is, it's one of those things where I grew up being around platformers, and my friends play platformers, and my cousins play platformers, and my uncle played platformers. So I was in that situation where I was surrounded by so many platformers, and they were all like, yeah, you should play this, you should play some Sonic, you should play some Crash, you should play some Spyro. And I got hooked. And it's just I don't know what it is. It's just something satisfying. And they're not like most platformers that are good are not like super duper hard games. Again, they're kind of just like a pick up and play games. Like I hear a lot of people who play Kirby. They say like they're really just simple, fun games. Like if you play a Kirby game, don't expect it to be difficult, and don't expect it to be anything story-wise to be interesting. Like I never think in a platformer that it's going to have a super amazing story. I don't think too much into that. I'm just like, you know, if the characters are fun, that's fine. I'm more going in to play a platformer. I want to run, I want to jump, and you know, how acrobatic am I? Can I run on walls? Can I, you know, wall jump? Can I do things like that? It's just something satisfying with running around, jumping on enemies, and you know, just seeing what you can do, how far you can jump, how far you can go, and just various different gimmicks and stuff that you can do. You know, you can hang on things, swing on things, or whatever you're doing. I don't know why. It's simple fun, running around different environment areas you can do. If anyone knows, like, I love snow levels and stuff, and there are some great, like, snow environments, winter environments in, like, a lot of platformers. And yeah, like I said, I've grown up in platformers, so I feel like it has been a big influence. You know, naturally, and the first game I ever played was Sonic the Hedgehog 2 on Sega Mega Drive, and like I think the first PlayStation 1 game I played was Crash 1 question mark. No, actually, no, I lied. This will actually shock you guys. The first PS1 game I ever played was Three Lions, a football game. I kid you not.
I was going to say, like, does that get anything to do with England?
I don't know. I can't remember. It was years ago. I don't have it anymore. It's what I got with my PlayStation, you see. My parents got me a PlayStation bundle, and I got Tomb Raider 2, Crash Bandicoot 1. I got both of the Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey games. I got Three Lions, and a couple of other games that I can't remember. I've never really been into football, but my friends, when I was at school, played football. And I got the game, and I was like, I'll give it a try. I put it down immediately, and then I tried Crash, and I was like, okay, this is more my thing. But yeah, no, like, platformers will always be my thing. RPGs will probably be, like, up there. And I'll agree with Josh, like, action adventure games, like, if it's just an adventure game, or if it's like a straight up hack and slash, they're easy to get into. They're fun. And not meant to be too difficult. You just go in, you just wail in and have a good time. But yeah, I have to go with platformers.
So I predicted that you would go with RPGs. I don't know why.
Close second.
Well, what I ended up going for was platformers, of course. So yep. I'm not going to go too much into platformers. Like Jay, you've pretty much covered platformers there. I don't really have much more to say. My second choice was going to end up being RPGs. Or, to be more specific, JRPGs or turn-based RPGs.
Mm-hmm.
I love you can be patient and you can just take your time with fights rather than you've got to be quick, you need to get your strategy in, you need to get all this stuff done. Like, it's too much for me to comprehend. So stuff like JRPGs or turn-based. So we're going like with Pokemon or classic Final Fantasy, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For me, like, platformers are the game that I go to when I just kind of want to chill and just play something to take my mind off of everything else and
Yeah, exactly.
just have a bit of fun. RPGs are the games you want to play when you want to get deeply invested in something,
Yes.
because they're usually very story driven. There's a lot of character development to get through. Sometimes it doesn't work, sometimes it works fantastically. Like it's the genre of game where the story is so crucial to the enjoyment of the game, because we'll have to face it, you're doing the gameplay, it's the same mechanics for could be 100+ hours. So there needs to be something there to drag you along, and for me, like, that's what RPGs are like. Sadly, I've not really been playing too many RPGs other than my Pokemon Crystal series on my channel. That's the only RPG I've really played for a long time. But there's a lot of stuff that I want to get into. I want to try and finish Final Fantasy 13.
Cool.
That's been about 5 years in progress. I want to move on to Dragon Age 2, then Dragon Age Inquisition, because Dragon Age is awesome. And at some point I want to replay Mass Effect, but that's more on the grander scale of RPG. What would you class those as? Like, RPG was like, there's so many subgenres.
RPG shooter? I don't know.
I don't know. It's like, It's,
I didn't. I mean, I didn't even think it was an RPG. I thought it was just a shooter.
See, I think it's kind of like that's kind of like what BioWare end up doing. It's kind of like half RPG, half first or third person shooter. Same with Fallout as well.
Strategy based.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because I couldn't just call Fallout a first person shooter. I think that would be very, very harsh.
Yeah.
All right.
So, but then you've got stuff like Borderlands, which I would say is more of a first-person shooter than an RPG any day, but there's so many RPG elements that you can't ignore it.
Yeah.
So, my choice would be platformer, but I would expand more on RPG just because I can't really add more to what you said, Jay. You're a lot better at explaining things than I am. So
I don't know about that. But...
definitely are, especially in my sleep-deprived state where I just ramble on and talk a lot of nonsense.
Well, I do that anyway.
So that is just about the end of the Stars Gaming Show. Next week we'll probably do, let's just keep it simple, the worst video game genre, or just in what your opinion is, your least favourite, or something you just hate seeing.
Oh.
Usually it would come down to, you don't like those genres, why would you play games of it? But you know what? It happens sometimes. There's just stuff you just don't like. So then after that, I think we should do like the headline show as the what games would you want to see remade.
Oh, cool, yeah.
So that'll be 2 weeks' time. But as always, before we close things off, we do have a little bit of a rap from Foot. What song have you got for us this week?
I've tried to go with this song. It's called Always Delirious by Spaceman Chaos.
Okay.
Yeah, it's you've probably not heard it, but yeah, it's one of those things I listened to recently and I thought it sounded decent enough, I guess. So it mentions quite a lot of video games.
Oh, sweet.
Like in it, so I thought that would be a little bit interesting.
Is rap something that you're starting to get into?
It's very hit and missy, I think, for me.
Because you used to really despise it.
Yeah, like some of like Eminem stuff's alright. Like obviously Hollywood Undead's quite good, but yeah, it's very rare I end up liking a rap song. But they're quite fun to read out. So yeah, let's go with Always Delirious. I go mad so much, I just can't play right now. Get into the game, don't be dead by daylight. We could start our mission, good, but I bet I won't play nice. Because Aragami ninjas like to kill, not save lives. Searching for the symbols, learning terrifying lessons. Hiding from a monster with notes of obsession. I could solve a scary puzzle by surviving and guessing. These layers of fear that have me here stressing. So golf with friends versus Ohm and Bryce and a wrestle. Totally accurate battle sim with red and blue vessels. Just a resident battle in these demons and devils. Steady saving Teddy, because the bear is very special. I'm in a maze, and this corn is alive. It's Friday the 13th, and I'm going to survive. Made the Rocket League because of the way that I drive. So crazy, like, yeah, I'm out of my mind. But right now it's time delirious. I'm out of my mind, I'm delirious. Every day, all day, it's delirious. We will forever be always delirious. I'm a mutant ninja turtle. I'm a badass batcoon. I'm mad, malicious, kicking ass with a rap tune. There's no joy than in we happy few. And I made it klepto hijacking the crate and taking the loot. It's a far cry for the primal with a Gears of War touch. So shut up to the rivals. And I don't know who I can trust. The reign of kings on survival, on adventure in rust. Let alone. So turn out the lights, or I'm gonna make a fuss. Gang beasts wanna rumble, but I don't know how to fight. Lights on in the bedroom, and it only happens at night. It's a war of the worms, delirious army attack. Guess who is in the mud, like Watch Dogs in a hack? I'm like WWE making the rules for the match. I'm Hitman with the moves, and it's for honor, I'm back. I make the party panic over Rainbow Six Siege. Are we gonna move or die? Unless we're playing hide and shriek. Right now, it's time delirious. I'm out of my mind. I'm delirious. Every day, all day, it's delirious. We will forever be always delirious. You know, I just want to play some Uno. Battleship a Friend is a cool duo. Left for the Walking Dead Rising Cockroach Simulator. Killing Room Battlefield White Noise. Demonstrator face the Big Yeti boss of the Viking Squad. Paint the town red with Vanos in the biker brawl. In the Wildlands with the cartoons animated like the rise of the Batcoon. Run, jump, duck in the world of Ben and Ed. He Fallout 4, he tried, he was never ready. It's a crazy laughing psychopath good guy, saying peace out everyone, goodbye. Right now it's time, delirious. I'm out of my mind, I'm delirious. Every day, all day, it's delirious. We will forever be always delirious. That's an interesting song.
I do like all the gaming references.
Yeah.
I've actually taken a note of that, and I'm going to go listen to it, well, later on after I've had a sleep, but...
Asleep? You're going to sleep? It's only 4:30.
Yeah, I've been up since 11 o'clock yesterday.
Oh, I see.
I was going to go to bed at about 1 in the morning, and I get called into work, so I had to start at 4:30, and I thought I'm just not even going to go to bed now, so... Yeah, get a couple hours sleep, back up, a couple hours awake, and then try and get back into a normal sleeping pattern. That's the plan anyway. I'll probably end up sleeping all the way through at about 4 in the morning, and then I'm screwed. But that signals the end of the Stars Gaming Show. We have had Footloose 2005.
Thanks for watching, guys. See y'all later.
We have had the Game Busters J.
See you later.
And late but certainly made a great presence today, we have had Mr. Joshy J.
Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.
And it is a goodbye from me, Stars Gaming. Thank you all for watching, and we'll catch you again soon.